Tonight, a brilliant report by News Laundry, the website, exposing the double standards of a police and a ruling establishment when it comes to toolkits. How the police, by arresting the likes of climate activist Disha Ravi, have criminalized a standard advocacy document for organizing protests, perhaps simply to settle scores with those who challenge the government, while choosing to ignore genuinely dangerous attempts to spread hate using online toolkits, possibly because the organizers are members of the ruling party? Now, just a quick context. Many, including a former judge of the Supreme Court, have pointed out that the police's misguided attempt to see shadowy foreign conspiracies in the Greta Thunberg document simply doesn't add up. That toolkit, the so-called Greta Thunberg toolkit, doesn't call for violence. Instead, it talks of Twitter storms or of petitioning representatives in support of the farm protests. And yet the police have sought it fit to arrest and attempt to arrest those supposedly involved in drafting it. The News Laundry piece, reported by Meghnad S. and Shambhavi Thakur, which has gone viral since it was published, exposes the full extent of this official double standards. In brief, the News Laundry reporters chose to respond to an appeal, a disturbing appeal in fact, made in November last year by Kapil Mishra, the BJP leader, who publicly called for volunteers to join a Hindu ecosystem. Mishra, as many would recall, gained notoriety for making provocative remarks in the run-up to the riots that tore through East Delhi early last year. Once the News Laundry journalists signed up to his group, which uses the chat app Telegram, the reporters found themselves, and I quote, with a fly-on-the-wall view of how this ecosystem creates toxic narratives and how it manufactures trends across social media platforms to whip up communal hatred and bigotry. As they point out, this ecosystem with close to 20,000 members repeatedly shares toolkits similar to the ones for which the activists have been arrested. Except, unlike the Greta toolkit, which sets out a template of non-violent action, these documents, often shared several times a day, have a clear divisive agenda. Like these screenshots, which point to how members of the Mishra ecosystem are alerted to the latest campaign and provided links which, if they click on, leads to ready-made tweets. As News Laundry found, these attempts translated into actual Twitter storms, thousands of communally charged tweets and hashtags like hashtag anti-Hindu riots or hashtag no human rights for Hindus. This machinery can spring into action to respond to real-time events, finds the article. Like after the 26th January tractor rally, documents were shared with names like Sikh terrorism posts that had posts for the purpose of demonizing the protesters, linking them to the Khalistani movement, using cherry-picked and decontextualized images, even smearing Muslims as a sort of bonus. Also shared documents like these, a state-wise list of mosques supposedly being built by destroying temples. The piece, the News Laundry piece that is, also mentions a video update shared by Mishra towards the end of December last year. He even suggests that the so-called ecosystem he's putting together is not just active online, but also on the ground.
जय श्री राम साथियों, हिंदू इकोसिस्टम की पूरी टीम को नमस्कार, जय श्री राम। और दो खुशखबरी हैं। अभी लखनऊ में हिंदू इकोसिस्टम की ग्राउंड टीम के साथ कई साथियों के साथ मुलाकात हुई। आज अहमदाबाद में भी कई साथियों के साथ मुलाकात हुई और दोनों ही शहरों में, लखनऊ और अहमदाबाद, दोनों में हिंदू इकोसिस्टम की एक तो ग्राउंड में टीम हमारी बनी गई है, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप भी बन गए हैं और आगे की गतिविधियां चलाने की जिम्मेदारी कुछ लोगों ने अपने ऊपर ली है। अन्य साथियों को भी हम इन्हीं शहरों से और बाकी शहरों से भी जोड़ेंगे।
Now, this is just a brief summary of the News Laundry piece. There is too much detail for us to get into here, but you can go on to their website and read the full piece. We reached out to Delhi Police and Kapil Mishra for their response. At the time of going to air, no response had come to us. Now, to be clear, we know of these right-wing hate factories. We experience them every day. But this is a rare instance of a team of journalists getting a ringside view of how it actually operates. All the more pertinent at a time when the government is seeking to go after imaginary conspiracies while ignoring the real threat under its nose and inside its house.